Hey guys, I want to just spend this time with you in the present moment because I just came out of a chat with my mentor, and the past few months I've been struggling with the emotion of frustration. I'm frustrated that I'm not where I want to be, and that is because of the fear that I have within me. And posting these videos is a huge point of focus with me and my mentor in order for me to get to where I am. So I'm going to show you exactly what he did to help me overcome my fear and my frustrations, and how that ties in with inaction and not being able to take the next step because of my need for perfection. So it just starts off with me focusing on a single fixed point in front of me, just above eye level, and I looked at the point in front of me and kind of just stared at it. So, for example, in front of me there's like a tree, and I can see like a fixed point. It's just above eye level, so it's perfect. And what I'm going to focus on is that point, but then be aware of the tree to the left of me, to the walls from the buildings that are to the right of me. Once I can focus on that, then I'll start to inhale through my nose, exhale through my mouth, and then start the visualization process. So I'm going to guide you through it, and I'm going to relay the instructions that my mentor gave to me to begin. And yeah, let's crack into it. Hopefully after this, you'll be able to get an insight on how I overcame my fear, and maybe it could help you with yours. So let's just get into the zone. So right now, staring at a point in the tree. The more that I focus on it, the more that my peripherals are being, I'm being aware of my peripherals. So I can see the tree to the left of me, I can see the walls of these buildings to the right of me. And I'm going to breathe in through my nose. Exhale through my mouth. I'm going to do this 3 times. And again. Now I'm going to close my eyes. Now that I'm closing my eyes, I'm going to try to exit my body and look at my body from a third person perspective, like in a bird's eye kind of view. So now I've left my body and I can see the top of my head. I can see that I'm sitting on a log. There's the green grass underneath me, and that's all I see. No sky, no buildings, just the log, me, and the ground. And when I feel like I am in a safe place, then I'm going to say yes out loud. Yes, I am in a safe place. There's no distractions around me. It's just me, nature, and you guys. Now, I'm going to go higher. I'm going to imagine I'm like a drone and fly up. So as I fly up, I can see the foliage from the trees that are covering me right now. And I'm just getting tinier and tinier and tinier the more that I go up into the sky. And I'm going up even further now. Now what I'm trying to be aware of is my past and then my future. Now, I'm in my astral state. If I look down, I can see myself sitting on the log, but between where I am in the sky right now, and I can see the tops of the trees and me sitting down, that's my past. Like, the distance from where I am right now in the sky to me on the log is my past. And if I look up, I see the sky, and that is my future. Now, I want you to imagine with me that there is a string between my past and my future. So if I look down, there's a rope in front of me, it's extending all the way down to the top of my head. And then when I look up, I can see another black or whatever colored string on top. What I did with my mentor was he asked me, like, if I look at the past, what time frame am I going back? And if I look at the future, what time frame am I going forward? And I said 7 years in the past, and then I said 10 years in the future. And then he asked me, what color is the string that is attaching the past and the present and in the future when I'm looking down and up? And I said black. And that's connotative of a lack of emotion, which is something that we discussed in our previous chats. So opening up my eyes, and you can open your eyes as well, we got a gauge of what my mind was like before talking about anything. And to give you further context on what I've been struggling with, guys, I want to do well in my business. And in order for me to do well in my business, I have to do the right things, because there's no point doing what I'm doing right now and not changing, because if I was to keep doing the things that I was doing, I wouldn't get to where I would want to be, because I've been stuck like that for about 6 months and nothing was working. And so I hit this wall. I was being a perfectionist, and I was trying to get information from mentors, from videos, from other coaches. And while I was acquiring that information, I wasn't posting, I wasn't taking sales calls, I wasn't helping people. And kind of like that frustration and that block from me being able to do all those things to eventually help people was the thing that was the fact that I couldn't do it because things had to be right. But my coach and I discovered that that is a lie, because in the past I have posted content, I have taken sales calls, and then I have helped people in the progress. So it is a fact that I can do those things. It's just that right now I'm experiencing frustration and mental blockage because I'm trying to go about it in the most perfect manner. And without this insight, I wasn't able to understand how to move past it. But 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I've been posting like pretty consistently. I think 4 videos the past 4 days. And so I actually broke through that mental barrier. So the conversation that I had today is based off the future and how I can manage that frustration if it arises again. So I decided taking perfect action. I started posting again after being too much of a perfectionist, but there's no telling that I'll fall into my old ways if I was to be presented with new information again, right? So he got me to close my eyes again after focusing on the fixed point. And this time he asked me a few questions. He got me to like rise out of my body again and go higher and higher and higher. This time even higher than where I was before. And he wanted me to think back at a time where I had this feeling of frustration. So the exact moment that I had the feeling of frustration was when I was just sitting on my couch at home because I wasn't posting content, and the feeling that I got was kind of like a scratching feeling in the back of my head. And whenever I won't post and I feel like I was lazy and I just couldn't figure out what to do and like how to do it, I'll be like, and it feels really frustrating. So I grabbed that moment in time and I made that into my timeline. So my timeline goes from left to right, and in the past it's the left, and in the future it's the right. So now he told me to find another instance in the past where I felt that same level of frustration. So I thought back and I was like, okay, in Christmas last year, I was at my mate's holiday house and I was thinking about what content to post, and I was stuck. And I had that feeling of frustration. I just kept researching, watched lots of influencers, got lots of knowledge, but I wasn't posting, I wasn't acting. And so that was the other time that I got frustrated. And so then he said, between those two times, what happened? And I thought deeply and I was like, yeah, so in Christmas, when I wasn't posting content, I was stuck for a few weeks, but then I managed to post 2 times a day consistently for 3 months, and I broke out of that. And then I got stuck again after about 6 months' time. So between the first point and the second point, I actually went through a phase of posting content, taking sales calls, getting money, and helping people. So that was cool. And then he repeated the exercise again and said, okay, going back from that time in Christmas, where else did you feel that frustration? And it was all the way back before I quit my job. I wanted to post content, but I didn't know what content to post. And I was just feeling stuck because I was working my 9-to-5 job. I wasn't helping the people that I wanted to help. I was just talking to customers, working for a company that I did not give a fuck about. And so then he told me to think about what happened between that point and the middle point. And I said that I did something about it. Like I started posting content, which made me to make sales calls, which then got me money. So I quit my job and I was able to help people. And that was very interesting because each time that I had frustration, each of those 3 points, what came after it was action. And I was never able to realize this until I sat down, I had a safe environment, and I closed my eyes so I can shut off all this visual imagery and just focus on my past, my present, my future. And I was like, yeah, frustration, it's not just been in these 3 points of my life, it's been in every single point of my life. And each time I felt frustrated, what led on from that was action. And that was very interesting because at those points of frustration, I was trying to acquire knowledge and I was trying to get the information I needed to then move on to the next place. But in reality, it was actually the action that led after me having frustration that then gave me a better position, because in my earliest points in my timeline, I was not experienced, but then I took action and then I got to a midpoint, which was Christmas. And then I was in a much better spot before because I took action. And then after Christmas, when I was posting 2 times a day for 3 months straight, 3 months after that, I was in a better position, but it's because I took action. And so it's not that point where I'm like trying to be perfect and overthink things and be frustrated because I'm not posting and actually overanalyzing that I am getting information and perspective. It's actually it's after I've done the things that I needed to do that was where I was improving and getting more smarter. So that was the shift I needed. He was saying something about negative emotions, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around, but there's no negative emotions. Frustration is good. That's the reframe that I needed. Because if I look at every single point that I was frustrated in my past, it led to something. It led to something because I took action on it. So the fact that I'm frustrated is actually going to be a good thing. Now what I did is I looked into my future. So the future hasn't happened yet. It is uncertain. We can agree that the future is not certain, but we can make predictions on what will happen. So in, let's say, the next point that I feel frustrated, I'm going to try to imagine that scenario. And when we did this exercise, I thought about Bali. So in Bali, January 4th, that's where I'm going to be in Bali. I believe that I'll be frustrated. That will be the next time that I'm frustrated because I'm not making the amount of money that I want to make, and I'm not having the amount of influence or reach that I want to have to help more people, and I'm not living the lifestyle I want to live because in Bali I'll be surrounded by people that are better than me, and I predict that in January I'm not going to be up to the level of these people, and that is going to give me frustration. So then I link this level of frustration to a level of frustration that I had in the past that was similar to it, and I tie that Bali frustration to a point of time in 2022 when I was going to my first calisthenics meetup. My first calisthenics meetup that I ever been to, I was a noob. I couldn't planche, I couldn't do any freestyle moves, couldn't front lever. There was people like Ethan, Bryden, Peter, Javier, Jai that I was friends with in the Australian calisthenics community, and they could do so many cool things and I couldn't do anything. I felt frustrated because I was in a place where I didn't want to be. But then looking at the events after that, I found my place. I was able to get the skills I wanted to do. I was able to work full-time as a calisthenics coach, which was my passion at the time. And I was able to belong with these people, and I was able to be on par with them and actually foster a good relationship. So if I connect that frustration and then what happened after that and tie it onto a frustration that I will have in the future as a prediction, then is that frustration in the future going to cause me a negative emotion? And thinking about that, I'm like, no. If I end up getting frustrated in Bali, I no longer have a negative feeling towards it because I know that's what would proceed it is going to be something truly beautiful. And it might not happen in the first year, it might not happen in the second year, but I will be able to be in a better spot because it has happened to me in the past. And frustration and that negative emotion that I thought was a negative emotion is actually just an emotion. And so I repeated this exercise with him 2 more times. So I thought, when would be the next time that I'll get frustrated? Probably in March when I have to go to Hong Kong for my cousin's wedding. He's getting married probably like mid-March, and I'll probably be frustrated because I'm going to be eating nice foods in Hong Kong. I'm going to be not training, and I'm going to be traveling all across China and Hong Kong, and so I'm not going to get my cardio in, and I'm not going to get routine in. The air's going to be polluted, the water is going to be bad. I feel frustrated because I really care about my health, I really care about my environment, my routine, my boys. But then I thought back to the past about a similar situation, and it was when I was in China in 2024. I went to Chongqing, where I met Workout 9. I went to Japan, where I met Smith Enix, and I got sick, and I got fat, and I wasn't training, and I was traveling a lot and being really tired. And guess what proceeded after that event? I locked in. I did keto because Jordan challenged me to do keto, and then I got shredded. I did coaching with Francisco Rossi, and then I got a level of planche that I could not even believe that I was able to achieve at that time. So tying on to this frustration that I predict I will have in the future with Hong Kong next year, I feel so much better about it now because frustration is no longer a negative emotion. And the last future projection that I had for frustration was not posting because whatever reason. I think just like in September I'll get a little bit lazy and I'll be frustrated with myself because I'm not posting. And honestly, I have figured out that I want to do imperfect action, but I predict in like September next year I will fall back into this again, and that's okay. It's just something that I have a feeling that I would. But will I feel bad about it now? Will I view the frustration as a negative thing? No, because I'm going through it right now. So I think my situation right now will happen again next year, but I will be aware that it is happening. And I find comfort in that. Open your eyes. Look at me. I feel so good now. I feel relaxed. I feel calm because the emotions that were swelling within me, stopping me from being my authentic self and doing what I wanted to do, no longer has a grip on me. I'm literally at peace with myself. I no longer hate who I was in the past. I was able to forgive myself. So my coach told me to forgive myself, and I truly in my heart believe that I have forgiven myself. There is no one else to blame but myself, but now I'm not even blaming myself. I view the emotions that I thought was weak as a strength now. Hopefully you guys did this exercise with me and you found some benefit. I want to do more videos where I am present with you, because it is good to look in the past and tell stories about what has happened and learn from them. And it is good to set expectations and workout routines and game plans and strategies and ways that you can improve in the future. But there's very little people out there that care and just want to be with you in this present time. And I'm saying that because being present with someone where you're saying something and they're listening to you is the most valuable conversation that you'll ever have. It should be your standard for every single conversation. I wish I had someone to talk to me while I was going through my frustrations in the past. I wish that I had my mentor when I first started training calisthenics and posting content, but I'm glad that we found each other, because if I'm transforming myself, then I truly believe that I can transform you as well. And if you resonate with this video, please go onto my Instagram, because I genuinely want to have a personal relationship with you, where we can just talk about things, where we can just, be mates and tell stories, give you advice, but then just have a conversation. Like, I talk, you listen, you talk, I listen. So yeah, I'm gonna go hit a workout now, but peace guys, see you next video.